What's up, folks? It's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome to another Indie Showcase. This is a game, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel really bad now that I didn't cover back when it was new. This is Police Stories. I was given press code for this back when it came out, and because of a bunch of various different circumstances, I wasn't able to record it until now, and I legit feel guilty about that because this game is friggin' amazing, and I'm happy to see that it seems to have been successful, but it deserves all of the hype, in my opinion. So yeah, this comes to us from a small dev called Mighty Morgan. It looks like this is their first effort, and a small publisher I hadn't heard of before this called Hypetrain Digital, which is a fantastic friggin' name. And okay, you want to know what this is? You ever played Hotline Miami? You ever played SWAT 4? Mash those up. For real. And I'm going to show you why. It's not very expensive. It's $15 US, $17.50 Canadian. There's also a supporter bundle that just gives you some extra little DLC items like an art book and some other things like that. Nothing too significant. But I was a massive SWAT 4 guy. I played so much of that, and I love the Hotline Miami games. I have old Let's Plays of those on this channel, actually, or at least of Hotline Miami 2. And for real, they found a way to mash those two things up in a sublime manner. And even better, since this game has come out, they've continued to support it. They've added custom missions to it, and they've added online co-op. I already sold WereTiger on this game. He and I are going to be playing this together at some point soon. And I do think that is the way to play this if you can. It always had local co-op, but they've just added online, and that doesn't happen often, so wicked props to them for that. So, I just love everything about this. It's got great pixel art, it's got a great synthy soundtrack. The game is hard as nails, but in that very satisfying, small-level, quick restart way that Hotline Miami is. So, here's what I'm going to do. So, you're going to see here that I've only done 4 out of the 18 missions in this game. It's taken me almost 2 hours to get to this point, and honestly, this is all I needed to know that I was going to be all about this game. And, you know, this is a first impression series, and this is very firsty, but, oh, so good. So I'm going to start here at the beginning so I can show it to you. So, this game does have a story to it. It has some beautiful cutscenes as well, which you might see some of them here. And you're going to see here, you start a mission, and it gives you your objectives, and it lays things out. So there's suspects and also civilians, and it gives you a mission difficulty. And then you have your 2 characters here, and you can load them up with different things. Now, the cool thing about this is also a score-based game. So the neat thing is, as you progress through the campaign, you're going to unlock additional items, and you can go back and play old missions with those new items to make things go a little better, hopefully boost your score, get yourself a better rating. Really, really cool. So you see right now I've got flashbangs, I've got a med kit, lock picks, pepper spray, a foregrip, and a bore scope. And the bore scope has been the most useful thing so far because it allows you to look through doors to see what's behind them before you open them. So you can either pick these on a mission by mission basis, or you can pick the last set that each of the characters had, which is really handy. If you play this on easy, equipment is either removed entirely or it's at least not necessary. The easy is for people who only want the story and nothing else, but this is really the way to play it. So yeah, this will give you an idea of what the cutscenes are like. These are 2, you know, hard-worn, I mean, look at their faces, right? Hard-worn cops who have been, you know, this is all I ever knew, man. That kind of thing. And the story is pretty much, you know, it's a hard-boiled, you know, 1980s cop story kind of thing, at least so far. But it fits, honestly, it works. Like, look at this. Look at, oh, mwah! Look at that pixel art. So good. Love it. I don't know if this game is actually on consoles or not. I will put a title up here if it is. There's no reason it couldn't be. It could play very well on consoles. I am playing this with a keyboard and mouse, though it does support controller as well. Like, just look at this. Oh, it's just fantastic. All right, I'm going to skip ahead here. But yeah, look at, like, it's got that pixel art, like the little subtle animation to it. But the detail in this is just wonderful. Really impressed with it. right, so you can press and hold enter to skip here. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what that looks like. So here's how things go. And you're going to see right away, top down, very Hotline Miami. Also 1980s hard cop movie. We don't take squat from no one, son. Yeah. So here's how this works. So you use the number keys to cycle between your different equipment here. What you've got to do is you've got to try as best you can to arrest everyone rather than shoot them. You will get severely penalized if you shoot them if they don't pull a gun on you and shoot at you first. But this game takes no prisoners. You can, if you're lucky, take one shot, maybe two, and then you're screwed. You have to react lightning fast, and I have to admit, I don't react fast enough in most cases. But you'll see here. Hands up! On the ground now! Get down! Now I'm doing that. Oh, you see that sucker tried to shoot me. So when you see somebody, you can tell them to get down. They will either comply, they will not comply, or they will go hostile. You will get severely penalized if you open fire on them when they haven't fired on you. And again, as you can see in the corner there, this game is score-based, so you really want to try to avoid that whenever possible. Now, this door here, I've looked through it. Now I have a couple of options. I can open it and go in. Oh, but it's locked. Now, if it's locked, you can bash it until it opens, but you'll make noise. Or if you have the equipment, you can lockpick it, or have your partner lockpick it. And as you can see here, this game has Metal Gear Solid style vision cones. So I can only see what's in front of me. Now, we saw before by using the borescope that there's a guy up there. Get down now. Heads up. He's not complying. He pulled a gun on me. There, I was able to shoot him. You'll also see there's evidence here. Evidence is optional, but it gives you more points. And the more points you have at the end of the mission, the better a grade you will get, because this game does grade you. So this is very much tactics-based, more so than Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami was more about style. This is a lot more about tactics. You have got to check your corners. You have got to not open doors instead of using your equipment, which I often do. Now, as you can see there, the AI, I'm going to say, is probably this game's biggest handicap. I would recommend playing this in multiplayer if you can. The AI will shoot for you if it sees things, but that can be both good and bad. There we go. So he's complying. So you got to walk up to him. You got to arrest him. Also, everyone who has a gun will drop it, and you get points for picking it up. So the AI will shoot at enemies that it sees, but its reaction times are very slow. And in addition to that, if you want to try to arrest everyone and get the higher score, the AI will not do that, and you can't tell it not to. The AI, it sees a hostile, it opens fire. So you've got to be careful about that. Now, you can direct him around, and by holding the right mouse button, you see you can do different things. So you can tell him to cover an area for you, and he will cover the direction that you're looking, and he will have increased response time from that. You can also have him do things like pick locks on doors. You can have him throw flashbangs into areas. You can have him do anything, because you can give him his equipment, right? So you can tell him to use equipment in whatever way works. Okay, so we got a guy in here. Now, one of the things I unlocked recently that I've been using more than my gun is pepper spray, because pepper spray gets people to comply immediately. And there are actually later missions in this where you have to defuse a bomb. And the way you find out the means to defeat the bomb without having to guess at it is by having suspects go compliant and basically using things like your pepper spray in order to interrogate them. There's layers to this, man. Like, a lot. Get your arse down. All right. Now, I'm going to admit here, I'm having a good run of this. Most of these missions I've had to try over, I'm not kidding, as much as 30 to 40 times. Because I don't react fast enough in a lot of cases, and I get myself screwed. See, there's a guy okay, there's a guy straight in front here. In addition, oh, that was close. In addition, by making noise, by fire, so you see this little noise meter in the upper left there? Yeah, if you make noise, enemies will come investigate in some cases. And that can get you really screwed really quick if you're not careful. So you can also as well, if you're going slow enough, you can sneak up on enemies. Which is also really handy. So if you're slow, you can sneak up behind a guy and pepper spray him before he can get you. But that's a risk as well. Now, in this case, there's a guy over there, and I can't run up to him in time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have my guy stack up on the door, and I'm going to have him do this. There we go. Flashbang. Gotcha. You got to be careful about that, because if you're looking at the flashbang when it goes off, it'll impact you as well. So you got to watch it. We're doing remarkably well here. The problem the principal problems I have with the AI is that there are times, unfortunately, where it's not especially bright. There have been times when I've told it to throw a flashbang into a room, and instead, because he wasn't placed exactly in the right spot on the door, he bounces it off the wall and it goes off behind us. And I'm like, it's obvious that's not what I wanted you to do. You know, it requires you to unfortunately handhold it a little bit more than I would like. Now, you see here, we have two options. That's a civvy, so that's good. I could open this door and take him down, but I gotta watch it because you see I couldn't see around this wall, right? You don't know who's there. Oh, and he moved. Also, oh, no, there he is. On the ground now. Okay, I gotta watch it because there might be a guy there. There isn't. Okay, but we got some evidence and we got another civvy. This is going really well, guys. I'm not kidding. Like, you also get a bonus based on time as well. So if you want to get an A rank, you've not only got to do the mission perfectly, you've got to do it fast. And that's going to be brutal. Games like this and like Hotline Miami really tend to appeal to people who are perfectionists. People who really want to ace everything and will accept nothing less than an A score, you know? Okay, so there we go. We got another guy here. This is going to be the end of it. Drop it. Arrest. Boom! Look at that. And we done. And here's what it does. So it lines everything up. So I did a B+. My previous score was a B-. I got no penalties, but you see I took too long, so there's no time bonus there. So also we killed the guy, one guy, instead of arresting him, which means we didn't max out the score that we could have on him. Now we have a little story cutscene. Me and my partner here don't have a lot of time on our hands, so don't waste it and tell us what we want to know. You know, very hard-boiled 80s cop movie kind of thing. But that's perfect. I love this stuff. Like, these guys wear their inspirations right on their sleeves. These guys played a lot of SWAT 4 and other games like that, and they played a lot of Hotline Miami, and they were like, dude, let's mash this up. And it's perfect. It's so well done. Like I said, I got press code for this back in the day, and I legit feel bad I didn't get the opportunity to cover it then, because I would have loved to have hyped this more back then. And the nice thing is now is even if they didn't add online co-op to this, the new Steam Remote Play feature makes it super easy to play it online anyway. So if they still hadn't done it, I probably would have told WereTiger, hey, let's pick this up because we're going to play it that way. But now it's just got straight up online co-op, so off you go. This is definitely the way. Playing this in co-op with another person, it's funny, right? Because I could see it's way better because you're not going to deal with the idiosyncrasies of the AI. But at the same time, I could also see this being more frustrating because when you fail at a mission like this, or at a game, when you fail at a mission like this, you can get a little annoyed at the AI, but ultimately it's your fault. Whereas now you could go, well, if you'd only done this thing this way, it'd be fine. And I could see people getting annoyed at that. So you see here, what you have to do is, you can see, you have to unlock the next mission, you have to earn a certain number of points in order to do it. So even if you pass a mission, but if you pass it by doing it so sloppy that you get below the score threshold, then you're screwed. But this is, as I think, is total points earned, because, I mean, look at this. this can't possibly mean that you have to earn 179,000 points in the last mission. But I can only imagine how hard these get. Like, even the 4th mission here, which I have tried I don't know how many times at this point, and I haven't managed to beat it yet. This is a 3.5 out of 10. This is probably going to get vicious later on. But you know what? So did Hotline Miami, and I beat those games, and I love them. It's great. I'll show you guys this mission really quick, just because this has a bit of a different concept to it. So this one has a bomb in it that you have to defuse. I'm going to skip this so that we're not spoiling anything. So in this mission, there's a bomb that has to be defused. And the interesting thing about this is the way you find out. So here it is. You have 4 minutes to find a bomb. On each new start, it will trigger a different placement. That's the other thing as well. Every time you start a mission in this, where the enemies are placed, where the evidence is placed, and where the bomb is in a mission like this is randomized. So it's never the same twice. So that's another way they do it. And what you have to do is you have to interrogate criminals to find out what you have to do, which is you get them down and you either hit them or you use the pepper spray to get them to talk, in which case they'll give up a code. If you can't do that, then you can just try to figure out which wire to cut and do it manually. I have not done that. That sounds like a friggin' nightmare. But yeah. So we got a guy here. Now you see how quickly I got shot there? I tried to approach him with pepper spray. Didn't work out. But you fail. 1 key. Boom. You're right back in. This is how Hotline Miami did it, and this is how it has to work. A game like this that requires you to go through like a lengthy load every time you want to restart a mission, that's never going to work, and that's going to be too frustrating. And if you cannot have instant restart, then you've instantly failed trying to make a game like this. There, see, code is 3676. Now you got to remember that it doesn't show it on your screen anywhere. And in this mission as well, here we goes another thing: metal doors. So metal doors you cannot breach. So if they're locked, you have to have the tactical equipment necessary in order to take them out. I happen to do that because I always have the lockpick here. But what we're going to do first is we're going to use the borescope and go, hey, yo, who's in here? Okay, that's a civilian. Now, the other thing with the civilians you got to keep in mind is sometimes they run. Sometimes they panic. And if they do, you got to catch them, or they could alert the enemies if they happen to run by them. She did not, so that's good. The other thing as well is that sometimes enemies will not surrender, but they also won't open fire. See, she took off. So the interesting thing is if you have an enemy that refuses to surrender, but also isn't firing at you, if you're willing to risk getting close to them, you can punch them or hit them with pepper spray to get them to drop. Or you can see he's saying leave this place. So sometimes they'll pull their gun on you like that, but other times if they're just standing still, you can fire a warning shot off to the side, and that'll make them go, whoa, okay, and they put their guns down. Again, the depth to this is bananas. Supplies. There we go. The depth in this game is absolutely bananas. The ways in which you can approach missions and the different ways in which you can solve them is really impressive. Really impressive. Like, even the way you have to manage ammo. See those 3 bars up top? Those are clips. Now, you can switch between them at any time. You can go back and forth. But that's all you got. You got 3 clips of 25 rounds. You run out of them, you're hosed. You got to use your other equipment, because you can pick up enemy guns, but you can't use them. So, like, I picked up a mini Uzi off of this guy. Can't do it. It's evidence, right? Not going to work. So you've even got to be careful and strategic in how you use your ammo. Now, at this point in the game, it hasn't been a problem. I've never been in an ammo crisis situation. I imagine later levels are probably a lot longer and a lot more complicated, and it's going to be you're going to have to be very careful about that. See, this guy dropped it. Now, the enemies will not move if you keep them in your line of sight. But if I walk around a corner and the guy loses sight of me, he could stay there, or he could take off, or he could jump up and grab his gun. So you really have to manage things tactically, and it's the tension of these games that I love. It's the fact that it's so there's so many balls you have to keep in the air at once. And while on the surface this looks like a simple game, it really isn't. And if you give this game, if your attention slips for more than a second, this game will take advantage of it and it will F you up. Like if you give this game the chance to, oh, you sneaky bugger. He tried to sneak up on me. If you give this, yeah, see what I mean though? Like that happened right there. If you give this game, sit down. If you give this game a millimeter to screw with you, it will. And it will wreck your day if you let it. You got to be right on top of things. And this is what I love. It's what I loved about SWAT 4 back in the day. Nothing has really done SWAT 4 like SWAT 4. And it's that same kind of idea that I loved about Hotline Miami. I'm just going to bash this door. Nobody in here. Okay. And the way in which this developer has mashed these things up is just sublime. It's so well done. And the fact that it's a co-op experience, with which the Hotline Miami games are not. Okay, I'm getting screwed here on time. I got a motor. I gotta find the bomb. I actually haven't found it yet. It's almost always either in here or in here. So it's moved somewhere else. It's probably in here. Yep, there it is. Now there's probably a dude in here. Ooh, I don't remember the code. Oh crap. Was it 8676? Nope. So I think it will tell me again if I go up and spray another dude. 3972. Wow, I was completely wrong. Okay. So here we go. 3972. Achievement unlocked. Close shave. Nice. That's awesome. But you see, we're not done yet because there's still dudes here. See? Look. See? Look, he's trying to get the jump on us. See how the guy took off and you could see his little... I don't know if you saw it there, but you could probably see he had little footprints. Oh! This is what always happens to me! Oh! Yeah. And there it is, folks. That is why I love this game. And that's why you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. The people who are not into these games are not into these games. I am. I love these. And this is a sublime one of these. SWAT 4 is probably one of my favorite ever multiplayer games. And you combine that with Hotline Miami, which is probably in my top 10 favorite indie games of all time. And you've got something really, really special here. So, yeah. That is Police Stories, developed by Mighty Morgan and published by Hypetrain Digital. It came out in September 2019. Again, I wish I'd covered this sooner, and I legit feel bad about it, because this game is great. WereTiger and I will be co-oping this. We might stream it, we might not, I don't know. But if you like either SWAT 4 or Hotline Miami or both, get this without question. You will have a great time with it. If you can play it multiplayer, do so. But you definitely can do it single player as well, though I will say I do believe that makes it more challenging for sure. So, yeah, that is Police Stories. It is on PC, Mac, and Linux, and possibly consoles as well, for $15 US. This is a steal at $15, man. I can't even argue with that at all. And, yeah, I really enjoy it. Hopefully you will too. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you did like what you saw here, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications on future videos. And drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this. Are you a fan of SWAT 4 or Hotline Miami? You know, how does this mash up with your feelings about those games? And do you think this is something you would like to? Do you know any other hardcore top-down shooters like this in that style that you think might be cool? Because I'd love to know about those, because this is a genre I really like. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of Indie Showcase. You guys have yourselves a good one. Take it easy.